Hello there.
Hello.
I know we should be in deep freeze now until the end of January, but you've got us for one more hurrah.
Just the one.
Yeah. We'll be back in February, but for now, just the one. Hello there. My name is Max.
And I am Sam.
And this is our first ever Maybe Movies New Year's Day special. So, hello and Happy New Year, one and all. Cheers.
Hurrah. Hope you're not too hungover.
Cheers, buddy. And if you are, what better way to stare abstractly at the screen for a while? So, if you hadn't seen our shows in December, what we decided was, rather than keep people waiting until the end of, or to the beginning of February to find out the results of our viewers' poll for our Christmas matchups, we thought we'd do this as a special one-off for New Year's Day, do the poll announcement, and then do just a thing.
A thing, yes.
Yeah, something themic to the show, but not exactly the show. We'll come on to that in a second.
Yes.
First of all, just want to say a huge, huge thank you to everyone who has discovered the channel and has started supporting us into 2022. You are all fantastic people. At the time that we're shooting this, we're at 193.
Yay! So, thank you! And then
the result.
Yes.
That's what you're all waiting for. We ran the poll on a few different places. Our usual ones on Twitter. We ran it on our story, on the Maybe Movies Facebook page, on the Zadrum Instagram account, Patreon, and on LinkedIn as well.
Mm-hmm.
We had votes from two different polls that we ran.
Excellent.
Okay. So Twitter, which is the main one that we do, we had 4 votes. 75% for Gremraiser.
Okay.
Which makes it a tie.
It does, doesn't it?
But we had 2 votes on the Instagram story, on the Zadrum Instagram story. Both votes
were for
Gremraiser.
Okay, folks. I guess we've been downvoted. I guess you preferred that movie.
Honestly, I'm not that bothered about. I'm quite happy about that. I know it's the one, as we said, it was the one that was the most railroaded of the ones that we've done for a while.
Yeah.
But as we said at the time, we kind of were forced to vote for the other one because it's the only one that we could actually do our thing to.
Pretty much.
Yeah, to any great degree. So thank you. The audience has it. And Gremraiser is our Christmas 2022 maybe movie. You probably do it up to that one there.
Oh, yeah, that one.
So, we're going to do a thing.
We're going to do a thing.
So this is a suggestion from my good friend Rob Berry.
It's his fault.
Yes, it is his fault. So
it's always good to know who to blame.
Mm-hmm. What my friend suggested is, why don't we do our thing, but what if we took the antagonist from one film and swapped it with the antagonist from a different version of the same film?
Okay, all right.
And his suggestion, and it's one of the best, do we want to go old school first?
Old school first. The OG Thing from Another World.
With still arguably the best horror film of all time, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Quite an interesting mashup.
It is, yes, yeah. So, again, we haven't taken any notes, we haven't had any time to prep this, we're just literally going to launch into it and see where it goes.
Yeah, we just sat down and watched both of those movies, and now we're going to blither away about it for a little while.
Yes. Where do you want to begin?
All right, okay, so we're swapping, so it's The Thing from 1951 versus the 1980s Crew, and John Carpenter's Thing versus the 1951 Crew.
Yes.
Okay, nice and simple. We don't have too much juggling to do there, so that's good. Oh God, where do we start?
Do we think this one's going to be quicker? That one's likely to be messier.
That one's going to... Yes.
Do you want to save the messy for the end?
We'll save the messy for the end. Yeah, you're right. Let's do that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing that's different with this... Oh, yeah.
Mince pie.
Cheers. Thank you very much, sir. So the first thing that's going to be different with this is that, the thing has just landed.
Yes, it's only just landed, yes.
So we would potentially lose all of the stuff with the Norwegian crew?
I was thinking about that, and frankly, yeah, it sounds like it.
So already that's a downside because we lose some lovely set up and atmospheric stuff.
And watching Norwegians blow themselves up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But obviously, we lose the trips out to the camp and all of that kind of thing. I mean, I was trying to think. There's one school of thought that says that we can still keep that in there, but then it's how do we transpose it to the US base? Because it's not like chasing a dog through the snow.
Hey?
If we wanted to keep the Norwegian element in this,
Oh, right.
that is the Norwegians that have discovered the craft. They've brought it home. Destruction ensues. Two of them get away, but the helicopter is damaged trying to reach the US camp. Crashes, but somehow one of the seed pods has got on the helicopter, or it's in somebody's pocket or something, and that's how it gets to the base. But the problem with that, of course, is that there's no hydroponics at the American base.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
There's no hydroponics, and then we've got to wait for it to grow up.
Exactly, yeah. I was trying to find a way of still making it work.
I don't think it's going to, really.
But it's fine. It's fine. We will do it another way. So we were saying that they see it in the distance.
Yeah, they must.
Yeah. But obviously their equipment is more sophisticated. Again, because their equipment is better, they'll be able to home in on it, zero in a lot quicker because of the distortion effect caused by the ship. Now, I think the ship in this is smaller as well, isn't it?
Quite a bit smaller.
And they're not going to be stupid enough to use thermite charges to try and melt it out of the ice.
No, because this isn't a military operation at this point.
No. But they do have dynamite.
They do have dynamite. But dynamite is not the same as thermite.
They might use it under duress, because if we include... You've got that Stormfront moving in, so their time is limited.
Mm-hmm.
They need to get it out quick.
What do we actually gain if we keep the spaceship?
Nothing. No, we don't need to keep it. Unless we say they find the ship, the Stormfront's moving in, they find the body just off nearby. Okay, let's get this out, it's going to be quicker. Put a marker here, we know where it is, we'll come back for it.
Yeah.
But obviously events escalate, and then we never actually get back to that for the rest of the film.
Yes, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you want to, I mean, it gives us an opportunity for them to go back to the ship and possibly find out more about the alien without that very random scientist guy randomly figuring out things about an alien species with no evidence.
Yes.
Which was totally believable.
I was sold.
I love the fact that the only evidence they had was it's alive and it just tried to kill someone, and the scientist's first response was it's clearly superior and more intelligent than us.
Again, I mean, they could have included a line, something like, well, obviously it's travelled across the stars, it's got technology that we don't have, ergo, it must be superior. Doesn't say any of that.
No.
Unless they thought that an audience at that time would understand that. Anyway, so we've got our alien, we've got it back to the base.
Yes.
Same way they stick it in the thing, a bit like what the Norwegians do. Do we get the same discussion then about whether they should thaw it out or not?
There would be a discussion about whether or not to thaw it out immediately or to send it back for further research, I think. But ultimately, I think their curiosity is going to get the better of them. I mean, I know they're not all scientists, but most of them are scientists. It's not a military operation. Scientific curiosity is going to take priority here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Are we doing this? Sorry, I should have probably made a point of this. Are we doing this as in John Carpenter directing this? It's a John Carpenter film just with that particular monster in it?
Yes. Yeah, because, I mean, you know, John Carpenter loved the original thing. That's why he remade it. You know, why he chose to take that job. So why not? You know, in a universe where he could have directed that version of the thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be once they've got it in. We don't see it for a while. There's this discussion going around. What should we do with it? I can't imagine they're all in the rec room or something, and it just literally bursts in.
Yes. Yeah. Well. Yes. Yes. Of course. Yes, it would do.
Gary's in who's got a gun that he carries all the time, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Yes.
So he'd probably, again, being a bit trigger happy as he is, pop off a couple of shots.
Yeah, you would have every reason to. An 8-foot tall thing screaming and roaring at you and flailing around. Yeah.
Do we reckon we might lose anybody at this point, or are we might get an injury or two?
I could see Palmer getting messed up.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he's perma-stoned. He's not going to react as fast as the others.
True, very true. Are we saying messed up as in, or just clawed?
No, I'd give him a nasty injury. Don't want to kill him just yet.
Okay. I mean, if we want to, we can say that when he gets clawed, bits of its talons get cracked off in the wound, so it gives them something to analyse.
Yes, that would be the thing. Yeah.
Somebody might, I mean, if we want to try and keep that thing in there with the arm, somebody close enough grabs a fire axe and hacks off his forearm. That might be what drives it out into the cold.
All right, yeah. I was thinking about that because, yeah.
Although, I mean, sorry, I don't mean to backtrack on myself, because there is that nice analogy in both films with the dogs.
I was thinking about that.
maybe we should go with that it breaks into the dog pen and starts killing the dogs. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we still get the bit with Clark. So maybe Clark is the one who gets messed up then.
Yes, Clark would definitely be the one to mess up because he's going to rush in and try and defend the dogs.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than him just bursting into the rec room, and it creates that moment of tension. And
Of course it does. Yeah, we can build up that slow build, this is where we're going to get the first thing, because the first thing that he's going to say, tell Charles I need the flamethrower.
the flamethrower.
This might be over very quickly.
It crossed my brain. It crossed my brain.
I think it is, isn't it? Because he's going to turn up unless we say anything different. It's trapped in that room with the dogs.
Yes.
The dogs will probably be attacking it as well.
Yep.
Which is the only thing that might stop them. Clark, I know he might get a claw, but he might try and stop whoever's comes in with the flamethrower. So if we want to throw a spanner in the works, that Clark goes no to Childs, and he ends up burning something else, maybe burn somebody else or something, and that's enough for it to get away.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah.
Yeah, because if you want to string this out for a bit. But I think, because you haven't got that paranoia about that fear about everybody else, which is obviously what you see in that,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that everyone works as a unit for the most part.
Well, they did that thing where they divided the military and the scientists, but that was very common in the 50s anyway, just because of the natural distrust between sciencey people and
military
people.
But I think,
But without that serious paranoia going on,
they're going to work more as a cohesive unit.
Yep, they're going to rally, and these guys are a lot more gung-ho than the scientists are in the 50s.
Absolutely.
So I think they're going to rise to the occasion quite significantly. All right, maybe it gets away the first time, but the next time it comes at them...
Yeah, it's got nowhere to go, and as we said, there's no hydroponics here, so it's got nowhere that it can start breeding.
Nope.
I mean, even if it did, once they know what it is and what it does, yep, outside...
With all of the kerosene and all of the napalm.
If we wanted to include that in there, is it in that bit with the dogs? Because there's straw on the ground, isn't there? As long as the seed pods touch ground or to something. No,
I see what you mean.
But even then, all it will do is it just adds a certain amount of tension to it, because that's growing on in the background. As soon as anybody notices, guys, torch it.
Yeah.
So even that's not going to make any difference. I don't think it's going to last too long.
So this movie's only going to last about 30 minutes at the best.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe 40.
I mean, we could have it stalking them, because it's obviously not affected by the cold.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be stalking them and trying to pick them off one by one.
Yeah.
If you want to string it out.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but again, once it starts stalking them, they're going to catch on.
Yeah, and they'll start rotating and sticking together.
Yeah.
And I suppose it is quite intelligent.
And they've got 2 flamethrowers.
Yes. I mean, that's the only other thing that it can do is knock out the generator.
But the generator's under the building.
Yes, of course, it needs to get in, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm trying here desperately to keep this one going for a bit longer. But I can't see it going too far. I mean, there's nobody in that group, even the scientists, who are going to want to keep this thing alive.
Yeah.
I think there's no other way. Okay, that one was nice and easy.
That was the briefest we've ever done.
But again, as you say, they've got dynamite. They've got
dynamite. They're too well equipped. They're too smart.
Yeah.
Because of the difference in time period, they are smarter, more savvy scientists, and they have better equipment available to them.
I mean, the only other... No, it's not even going to be able to do that. So the only other thing that might be different is you wouldn't get Blair going off on one and knackering all of the communications and stuff.
Because that comes from the paranoia. Yeah.
So that means there is equipment available, but it's not going to be able to use that. It's not going to know how to fly a helicopter or Happy New Year, guys. But yeah, he's not going to be able to drive a snowcat or anything like that to try and get back to his ship because he doesn't know where it is.
No, it doesn't, does it? It's woken up in the wilderness.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to get its arse handed to it. Again, we might lose a couple if we throw in that chasing thing, but until they kind of lure it into a trap.
Once they've got it, they're just going to keep pouring kerosene and fire on it until there's nothing left.
Kill it with fire.
That's usually the way to be done.
Let's have a look at that one.
On to the... Now this is going to get messy.
Yes. What do we know? So what do they know and what don't they know? So they'd have microscopes, but they wouldn't have...
So they've got microscopes, but no computers.
No. Yeah, certainly nothing that could examine the cell straw.
The microscope, you can examine a certain degree under the microscope. They can see quite a bit.
So first thing is, how do they find this thing? Because this thing doesn't give off the signal that that's the other one does. It's a shame that that nobody went out there prior to the military arriving, because I'd say you could start that. They get the call, and then when they get there, things have gone to shit. Like, they've already gone out there, found it, brought it back. It's decimated the camp when the military arrive. But it's not going to work because they don't go out there till the military arrive.
No, they don't. Yeah, no. Oh God, come on! Unless we just because movie and say it has a similar radio signature.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we just don't have a movie.
No, we don't. No, we're going to have to. That was my thinking, was that we have to borrow the distortion effect and say it just happens to have risen close enough to the surface that the distortion effect is emanating out and they pick it up.
Yeah.
Military guys turn up. Yay! Off we go.
Yep. Lovely, cheery chaps, flirting, stuff and things.
Yeah.
Go out and have a look.
And it's a lot bigger than they expect.
Yes, quite a bit bigger than they expect. So, thermite, kablooey.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
On a much bigger scale.
And then they're going to find something in the ice. But this something, it wasn't humanoid in its first form, was it?
You couldn't really tell. I'm trying to think, because this is where we need to look at the prequel, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember what it looked like when it was came out of the block.
It was vaguely humanoid, but you don't see it long enough to see what kind of shape it is. I think it is kind of bipedal, but that's about it.
Oh, right, okay. So, well, no, that's enough, because if they're looking through the ice, they'll see the legs and they'll go, oh, it looks like a person, and they'll take it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
I mean, even if you wanted with that, when they blow up the ship, it sends out shockwaves through the snow, and one of those cracks, that's what it opens up enough that they go, hey, look over here.
Oh, yeah, that'd be even nicer. That's a nice visual touch.
Yeah, well, somebody's going back to the I was going to call it a ship there, going back to the plane to get something, and then they notice it.
Okay, yeah, that would be good.
So dig it out, take it back. That's all going to be the same.
Yeah.
Dogs, we don't know, because they've got the dogs on the plane with them. Do you think the dogs will be freaking out already, or do you think they're...
The dogs in that version, in Carpenter's version, didn't actually react until it started to transform. They were watching it, because they were going, oh, strange dog. Yeah. But he didn't start reacting until it started...
Yeah, that's true. Get it back. So all of that stuff back at the base will be the same. With...
electric blanket.
Yeah.
Military incompetence. Ahoy.
It's fine. They're protected by corrugated iron.
Yes, because everybody knows that's the strongest thing on Earth. It can't possibly get through corrugated iron.
Do we going to say that guy's going to get a shot off before he just suddenly gets whipped around with tentacles? Or are we going to say it's going to burst out as a big creature and he can jump up and get a shot off, but probably going to get killed?
Well, this is the thing, because the Carpenter version of the Thing is a lot more sneaky. I don't think it's going to stand up and lumber at him.
No, and my other thought would be that once it's defrosted enough... See, it depends on how it reacts, because obviously it's been there a lot longer. It could be a knee-jerk reaction that it just, it's burst back into life. Or does it slide some tentacles out underneath and grab hold of the guy who's sat there wrapped up, supposed to be keeping watch?
That's what I was imagining, a bit like what happens with Bennett.
Okay.
Because that's... that is the parallel scene in the film, ironically.
It is, yeah.
But, I mean, it shows the difference between the two versions of the Thing, that it's a much more insidious...
Yes.
It doesn't go, rah! It goes, slither.
Yeah.
Yoink.
And then when it's ready, it just goes, yeah, I'm here, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna eat your face with my groin!
I think that must have been in the director's cut. Okay. So, we have an interloper.
Sorry, what?
We have an interloper. We have somebody who has been turned already.
Yes, we do, yes.
How do we proceed from here?
Well, they're going to discover that the Thing has gone. It's slithered off or whatever. Maybe even the guard who was there would raise the alarm. Dutifully pretending to be the thing that it's supposed to be, it'll go around doing what it would normally do. So it'll go, hey, I must have dozed off. I woke up and the hole in the ice.
Of course, that's the thing. If that thing gets away as it is, it's already got a good starting point to start increasing itself. Mm-hmm. It could run through this pretty quickly.
Yes, it could.
Because this is where working as a team works against them, because they're always sending people off. You two go off and do this. You two go off and do this. That's all it needs. Oh yeah, the two of us go off and do this. I'll go with him. Oh, now you go off with him and I'll go off with him.
All right, let's just play this through. Let's not just assume that we're going to jump to the end. It's out there somewhere.
We'll have to say that the scientists, there is enough physical evidence from when it broke out, so they've got something to examine. Mm-hmm. But then again, no, they've got it straight from the ship, so it won't have assimilated anything on Earth.
But it tended to leave that sort of protoplasmic goo and stuff behind and things, so there would be some stuff for them to look at. Mm-hmm. They might start at least theorising what they're looking at. which is probably then going to confuse the shit out of them, because they'll see crustacean cells and animal cells and plant cells and everything cells.
In there, yeah. I suppose the question really is then is when is it going to reveal itself? Do we throw it in there as an accident? Somebody cuts themselves or something like that and it reacts? Or because at the moment it's got no reason to reveal itself.
Well, no, what we've got is we've got the thing is a person, but the thing is also a monster at the moment. And we could just play up the monster side of it and have it come back as its monstrous form. Because it has no human form to imitate, as you said.
Yeah, that's true.
The original one. And come back as a monster, which would give us some of the stuff that we had.
Yes,
that would kill it with fire, all of that shit.
Yeah.
And it will work, That is quite a spectacularly... Fire is more effective against that version of the thing than it is against the plant version of the thing.
That is true. Plus, also, yes, they've got lots of kerosene, but they don't have flamethrowers.
They don't have flamethrowers, no.
They have a flare gun.
Yes.
So they might have a few of those. And of course, they've got electricity as well, which they obviously electricity, the wonder of the age.
Yeah, of course it is. I'm going to say that I think the thing comes back, makes a blatant attack. They fight it with fire. They probably kill it. I imagine they would actually kill it.
Yeah.
But during the chaos, somebody else is going to get got.
Yeah.
So now there's two of them.
Who are we saying is going to get got? One of the scientists? If they've got one of the military, they'll probably want one from both sides.
Yes. Why not? Make it nice balance.
Where do we go from here?
Now, at this point, at least in my head, this is going to resolve itself kind of quickly, but also over a long period of time. They've killed the monster. The reason to fear is gone.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to their normal daily routine.
Yeah.
Now, I can think of a couple of things that might raise their suspicions. Randomly shredded clothing.
Yes.
Things like that. But even then, how are they going to make the mental leap from shredded clothing to, oh my god, somebody's taking over the people? Because if you can't come up with an answer to that question, I think it kind of ends here.
It would have to be they stumble on one that's not quite formed. In the same way they do Benny's.
Okay.
That would be the thing, is that they stumble on it in the process of assimilating somebody. And then, because there's so much more of them, that's going to then allow for all of that paranoia coming in. Especially if it's been, because of the storm, it's been a couple of days, 3 or 4 days since...
All right, for the sake of argument, I'll go along with a because movie, so we'll do that. But where does that leave us? Paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
Turning against each other.
So you'd probably get the military trying to declare martial law.
Yeah.
But then obviously everybody else is going to go, well, how do we know that you haven't been infiltrated? So you may even end up with them fighting amongst each other.
I was wondering if that might be where it goes to.
Where the military are going to try and lock up all of the civilians, but they're not going to take the authority. We know what Dr. Carrington's like. He's going to try and lead the opposition.
Yep.
If he's being cast in the position of like Blair, chances are he's been taken over.
Mm-hmm.
And then it then resolves itself into a period of the film where it's almost these warring factions.
Yeah.
And then it says they're being whittled down from within, that the survivors have to band together against everybody else.
Yeah. It sounds like it. Hey, spider fights. Knock it off.
Yeah, we're working down here.
I don't see a happy ending here.
Neither do I.
Mind you, that's not surprising considering the source material.
No, not at all. I can't see that they're going to do... as I say, they may take a few of them out. Are we going to allow them to think of something like either of the tests from either the prequel or from John Carpenter's? Are we going to say that the love interest gets killed as well? So that's going to throw another spanner in the works for the captain. He's got all of that emotional baggage to deal with.
Yes. I mean, there's a movie in here. There's a movie in here. It's just not going to have a good ending.
I can't say it. I mean, the electricity thing is really ingenious, but are they going to get a chance to do it? Because that version of the thing is so much more intelligent than that one.
Yes. And because of the way this story works, it gets so much of a head start on them.
Yeah. And with that many versions of it out there, as soon as it starts cannibalizing like the plane and things like that, it's going to come up with something. I mean, okay, it's a lower tech level. It hasn't got the microcircuitry that the thing does in this to try and build a chip.
No, yeah, you're right. But it's capable of imitating someone who can fly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we could even have that somebody risks going up in the storm, or even just. I mean, we could even that could even be one of the things that triggers them off, if somebody's trying to take the plane out in the storm because it's trying to get out of there.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah.
So they have to shoot the plane down,
which leaves them in all sorts of trouble. Okay, all right. So we're getting a movie here, but where are we going to go? Where are we going to go with our ending? Because I mean, I can see a version where because of the infighting, they accidentally murder each other and it's just left with the things left behind, is one of the endings that I could see happening.
Mhm.
And then it probably end up with a SOS call or Mayday call on the radio.
Well, I was going to say the last thing you get is from the radio room is communicate from the general saying, "Storm's clearing down here. We're heading up in the next 24 hours."
Even better. Yeah. Yeah?
Yeah. Again, short but sweet. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, obviously, it's a lot condensed down on what we did, and there's probably a lot of stuff that we've missed. But I think that pretty much sums it up.
It really does. Yeah. 1951 version of John Carpenter's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Quite nice. It's got some stuff here. John Carpenter's The Thing from Another World ends pretty darn quickly. It's barely a movie. It's not even an episode of TV.
That would have been John Carpenter's student film version of
The Thing. Yeah.
Which is a shame. I mean, if we'd gone into it in a bit of depth, we could have strung it out a bit longer, but I don't think it's going to be that much longer. As you say, they're two together.
Yeah.
Even for a disparate group of guys, once they've got a common cause, there's no prevarication, there's no doubt in their mind this is something evil that needs to be destroyed.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It won't take long.
Okay, well, thank you for indulging us on New Year's Day. We will be back in February with more, maybe some slight variations on the theme that we do with the show as well, coming up this year. We will be about during January, so do come back and check out the regular times. It might not be every Wednesday, but we'll certainly try and get something out every Friday, whether that's What I Done Just Read or more movies actually. But obviously check out our social media, because we'll keep you posted on there. So until the next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and bye for now.
Indeed. As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.